State here today. That means the head coach of the Bulldogs, Zach Arnett, joins us. Always good to see you. First time around for this on you so far. How has it been?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm just getting started, so
It's the beginning of it.
Yeah, they've been kind and gentle on me so far. But yeah, thanks for having me.
It's always good to catch up. Is there a level of excitement for you guys? Obviously, you're going through off-season workouts, maybe a little bit of time off, but is this kind of marked? Okay, now it's time to go to work.
Yeah, I think you ask most coaches, right? For most coaches, media days kind of is the unofficial kickoff to football season, right? I mean, get your competitive juices flowing, get you kind of excited and energized for the work ahead as you go in August and, what you're going to have coming up throughout the fall. So it's exciting.
You were on with, or Hey Dad had you on his radio show not too terribly long ago, and you just pillared him, and it was fantastic.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Do you guys like each other? Is this?
We are actually friends, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, none of the fans want, right? They want a little back and forth.
Look, he's a showman. He knows how to draw. He was talking about me drawing clicks. He was helping me draw clicks.
Listen, you say it all the time in the staff room, right? We don't want a bunch of yes men who just agree with everything you say. I figured you wanted the same from your guest, right?
I 100%.
You don't want just a yes man who agrees with everything you say.
See,
particularly if it's the wrong opinion.
He gets on there with Kiffin, and he's just like, yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah, no problem. So
Kiffin won't talk to us.
That's right. That's right.
We get to sit down and visit with you.
Yeah.
He don't talk to me either. I see him in meetings. He doesn't talk to me very much either.
Yeah.
I think that's everybody. I don't think it's. I wouldn't take that personally. Is there a reality that has set in for you that I think right after you were officially named head coach, we talked to you, and it was kind of drinking out of a fire hose and trying to get everything going all at once. But now that there's been a little bit of time, has it kind of settled in and head football coach of an SEC team, and you got a season just around the corner?
I don't know if I sit back and think about things as existentially as that sounded, right? But I mean, I'm the head coach of the program, right? I'm responsible for everything that goes on in it. And obviously, priority number one is you got to get the right people on the bus and in the right seats. And so I'm really fortunate. We got a staff, and you take our on-the-field coaches, our sports staff. There's over 100 years of combined SEC experience, and so that's a tremendous asset to me, and gives you a lot of experience to lean on and bounce ideas off of.
So just to show you that I'm coachable, today I've done a bunch of interviews, and they've asked me, how different is this offense going to be? And I have told them all, I was like, I don't think it's going to be as different as you guys think it's going to be, going back to our conversation we had a few months ago.
I just had another one of these. They let me know that I guess we were taking the snap under center every play, which I thought was new to me too, because I watched.
I even said what you said. I made the comment about, it's not like they're running the triple option. Yeah, I took what you said and went with it. But that being said, I think it feels like everybody in this room expects Mississippi State to really, really look different. It's not going to look that different, is it?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, your job as a coach, identify who your best players are, who your most explosive players are on offense, and then get the ball in their hands and create as much space as possible. Right? There's a lot of ways in which you can do that. Okay, I mean, I would probably defer to Will. He had more experience and time in the air raid than I did.
Yeah,
I know he's told me. He says name an offense in the country who doesn't run the Y cross play, and the air raid called 95, also known as Y cross. Tell me an offense that doesn't run 4 verts or 3-level flood patterns. Right now, how you get to them is different and unique depending on which scheme you choose to employ. But at the end of the day, you're trying to get the ball in your most explosive player's hands in as much space as possible.
And then the other side of that coin, and people are asking me as well, is how different is the defense going to look? And I feel like sort of the same answer. I feel like there's going to be a lot of similarities, but there will be some differences because it's not you making those calls anymore.
I don't even think it's so much me making the calls as opposed to Matt Brock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's going to be a little bit of that. Just you have different personalities maybe as a play caller, but a lot of that's going to be because of the players who are out on the field. Mm-hmm. We return quite a bit up front, but we got some losses. We got to get some new guys in the secondary. We don't have Emmanuel Forbes out there who we can just put on an island, right? The 16th pick of the draft. I was watching some cut-ups here recently. I was speaking at a high school clinic, and, we're running 0 pressures, and they're throwing the ball over there because it's plain as day to everyone in the stadium that corner's one-on-one with that receiver over there, and there ain't no one else around. Well, when you got Emmanuel Forbes, you can do that a little bit, and he picks it off and takes it back for a touchdown. If you don't have Emmanuel Forbes over there, you don't feel as confident about that call. So players influence scheme. Right? It doesn't matter what side of the ball, offense, defense. Coaches coaches and the scheme do not influence what the players do. The players influence what scheme you choose to use.
There was at least a perception that when you were the defensive coordinator, that was yours, and Mike just let you do your thing, and he stayed out of it and stayed away. I don't know if that's 100% accurate or not, but that perception existed. I'm curious because
That's
you're
100% accurate.
100% accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you do the exact same thing for your offensive guys, or will you kind of peek into that room and keep an eye on how that's going as well?
Now, I've been asked that question quite a bit, and I usually respond, now I'm a head coach, right? You get this fancy title. I look back at my coaching career, my resume. I can't find anything on there that proves that I'm an expert in offensive play. I've not been in those meetings learning the fine details and nuance of how to build and coordinate an offense. And so just because I have head coach title, I'm responsible for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm responsible. We can't score points. But I'm not really sure why that makes me the expert, because nothing in my experience, I've never coached an offensive position. Now, I have opinions on what makes really good offenses, first and foremost, players.
Sure.
Right? And I understand that every defense has a weakness, right? You know that better than anybody as a defensive coach, right? You make a defensive call, there's a strength and a weakness to that call. Exactly. All right? And the offenses who hurt you the most do a really good job of exposing those weaknesses. Right? So I have opinions and thoughts on what it is that makes a very good offense. But no, that'd be pretty foolish of me to go in there and all of a sudden go, well, now I'm the head coach. Hey, here's this handful of plays that I really like the teams are running against us. We're going to run those plays now, when we may not be built to run those plays with that scheme. That's why Kevin Belray was hired. That's why the offensive coaches are on that side of the ball have been hired.
And I guess that's where you kind of addressed that. I might want to push back a little bit, because if you're a successful defensive coordinator, you've obviously studied a lot of offense. I mean, when you're building a game plan, but I suppose teaching it and implementing it and deciding what works best in certain situations is different.
I would push back on you. I don't know many offensive head coaches, that's their background, who now become head coaches. So they go ahead in critical moments. They call the defense because, hey, they've studied and watched a lot of defense over the years. So, hey, on that critical third and long, I'm going to go ahead and make that call because I know best. I'm an offensive guy, right? I mean,
it's like, can we get a post and a little backside fly around and maybe drag somebody underneath?
You could do it, but you choose not to.
No, that's the beauty of being the head coach, right? Is when it's the right call, you get to take all the credit. Exactly. When it's the wrong call, you're going to blame your coordinators.
Yeah. Is that how it went with Coach Leach?
Defensively,
just screwed us up again.
No, I had a hell of a luxury on a Coach Leach. I mean, there's not a defense coordinator in the country who got more autonomy to do what he thought was best, and sometimes make the wrong calls. Not a defense coordinator in the country had more freedom than I did, and so I'm forever grateful for that, and hopefully that'll influence me with how I deal with my coordinators.
Commissioner Sankey spoke at length about NIL and where he wants that to go. NIL at Mississippi State has been a thing that it feels like there's been some positive momentum, and that you've got the NIL in the place where you want it. When you talk to fans across the state, I know you toured the state this summer, what's the message for them for NIL?
Yeah, we're obviously a transformational time in college athletics, right? Players, we are all about any opportunity, resource to maximize what players can capitalize on, right? I think we happen to have one of the most loyal, unique fan bases in all of college athletics, right? Everyone knows that. If you've been to Mississippi State and Starkville, it's about the most loyal fan base there is. So that's a heck of an opportunity for players as they come to our program, right? And you hear about whether it's congressional involvement or whatever it is to create kind of a national framework for NIL. I want to go ahead and let the experts, debate that and hash out all those details. Our job is to deal with what the current reality is and make sure we're doing everything we can, right, to maximize those opportunities for our players and to our fan base. Simply put, if you're a supporter of Mississippi State athletics, the best thing you can do is support the Bulldog Initiative.
New helmets, uniforms. Do you have any input on that?
No. I'm not known as a kind of I'm not really kind of known as a trendy hip guy. I don't know what the latest trends are. That's based on input from our players, right? They're the ones who got to wear them. Usually you play well when you feel good in what you're wearing. So that's kind of based on input from our players, our fans, recruits, I think they all have probably a better thumb on what the current hot trends are than I do.
Richard was. We only have about 30 seconds here, but Richard was convinced you were going to be wearing cowboy boots today.
No, I wasn't convinced. I asked the question. I was like, "Will he wear
I
boots?"
think you thought it was
You're
going
a
to
boots
happen.
guy, aren't you?
I do enjoy wearing them. Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
Maybe next year in Dallas.
Maybe not with a suit. Then.
Next year in Dallas,
Yeah, I
you got to
don't
wear
know.
boots.
I don't know if you get outside of Texas if that's common or not. I don't know.
Maybe not.
I
As
guess
common.
Next year.
But then he makes fun of me for not wearing socks.
He's not wearing socks.
It's the summer. Zach, appreciate your time. You're always kind.
I know. That's what I'm telling you, Coach.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.